So here's what we're working with. I got this back on the Trailmaster. You don't want to know how I got this thing up here. Oh wait, I got a big old hoist. It wasn't too bad. So guess what we're gonna be doing today? That's right, a new set of tires. I got these things, they just showed up earlier this week. So we're gonna be swapping tires. If you know, but these things are pretty rusty. So it's gonna be a chore. This tube slash tire is gonna be a kind of pain in the ass probably to pop off, but we'll get her done. So another thing I'm gonna address in this video is this exhaust pipe. It has a big hole right here. I put a beer can in there to kind of patch it just to get it to the shop. So I'm gonna pull this whole pipe off and get a patch welded on that exhaust pipe, get it fixed the right way. Get this front tire off, I'm gonna take this nut off, I'm gonna take this brake off, and then the speedometer cable's right here. So that's all it takes to get this off. So I'll put you on hyperlapse and show you. And then I soaked it the other day with some PB Blaster, but I'm gonna give it a little bit more liquid courage to get this apart. All right, now that I ratchet strapped the back of the bike, I can pull this front tire all the way off. There you go. Success. Got the tire off the bike. I got these special little deals for taking tires off. It's not as glued as I thought it was going to be. This kind of came right off the bead. I was expecting it to really be a chore to get this thing off. This thing was just deteriorating when I was using those deals to get them off. So this thing's pretty roached. And the rim is too. I'm gonna clean it up, but I'm gonna keep that patina on there. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet because there's chrome and yeah. So I decided I'm just gonna hit this with like a barbecuer brush, a wire brush, and just break off the chrome, and whatever falls off, and then that'll just be it for that, because the back rim's not as bad as the front rim, and all this is going to break off. Then there's a portion where it's not going to break off, and you can't really paint on chrome anyway, so I'm just going to get a wire brush and start scrubbing on this thing. Alright, well I got this cleaned up a little bit. I'm not going for like a Barrett Jackson restoration. This is just going to be like kind of just a grimy old bike, kind of like a rat rod, but you know, not really a rat rod, but you know what I mean. I'm not going for pristine. This is going to look like it's just been sitting in the bushes. So this is how it's going to be. Just got the main big flakes off. Then I got this rubber, the old rubber that's on there, and I'm going to use the old electrical tape trick to protect the spokes from popping the tube. Time for the new rubber. It's a Shinko. I think they call it a, I forget what they call it, Golden Boy or something. It's a nice tire. It's gonna look pure, kind of correct for the bike. I got the tube all pumped up and I'm just spraying a little bit of soapy water. I've seen a couple bad reviews on this tube. There was a lot of good ones, but some bad ones, and on the review is leaking right on that stem. So this one looks good. So let's get this thing installed. Every time I've put a tube on a tube and a new tire on a rim, I always put a little air in it. It seems to do a little bit better when you're putting it on. If it's deflated, it just kind of flops around, and this kind of conforms to the tire and helps you get it on a little bit better. All right, now it's time to struggle with this new tire and get it on. I just got the tube and all that tightened down, and then I'm greasing up the shaft, and I'm greasing up all the bearings and gonna slide this thing back together. All right, I just finished mounting this thing all up. Now it's time to move on to the back tire. I was messing with the brake adjustment a little bit. I didn't quite clock this in the exact same spot, so I had to move this adjuster nut out a little bit because it was grabbing. Now it's spinning freely and the brakes work, so now it's time to move on to the back tire. All right, I got this thing all flipped around. Now it's time to work on this back side. So I'll put you guys back on hyperlapse and get this back tire off. I already pre-soaked this thing, but it needs a little bit more liquid courage to come off, it looks like. And I got the biggest ratchet in the shop apparently too. I'm gonna go get a little bit smaller ratchet. Alright, that should do the trick. Yeah, I'm just joking. I got that old decrepit tire off. I'm gonna call it a night. I need to free some space up on my phone. So I'm gonna leave the bike where it's at, but I can't forget to take that key out because I don't want someone stealing this thing. We're glad I'm not a tire changer on NASCAR because we'd be a couple laps down by now. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a night for now, but I'll be right back. There'll be just a half a second for you guys. It's gonna be a couple hours for me, and I'm gonna finish this thing up in the morning. I'm back. That was pretty quick, wasn't it? So yeah, I got this thing off last night. Time to put the new one on, but first I'm gonna start wire buffing this old rim and then putting the new tube on. Well, I got the rim cleaned up as much as I'm gonna do. Now it's time to put the new tire and the new tube on, so I'm gonna put you back on hyperlapse. Dang, that was a lot of work getting that freaking tire on. God, dang it. Ugh. All right, now that I have the tire off and the rim off, I'm gonna kind of scuff on this pipe a little bit because it's just Flake City. All right, now we're gonna attack this exhaust pipe. Ugh, nope. I already got that beer can repair off. Now it's time to actually fix it. Look at that gaping hole. Jeez. That's huge. I had to dig in my scrap bin and I found a piece that I modified to work for that exhaust. So here we go. I'm gonna put this in here. I'm gonna trim this thing up just a little bit more and get this fitting real nice. It's gonna be a pretty solid repair. I think I have a little bit of a leak going on. I think I can tell where the exhaust leak was coming from. I think it was in this general area. So here's what we're working with. I got this piece I made. I'm gonna cut it right here and cut it right here, and then weld in this new pipe. What it's going to look like when we're all done. Got the pipe back on here, and then I got this elbow that I made, so I just need to trim this thing up maybe about another couple inches, get this thing rocking and rolling. That piece I've been fabbing on, that worked out perfect. And that's not all. I also have, I haven't cleaned it yet, this thing actually has a skid plate. So I'm going to clean this all up, throw it in the jet washer, and then make sure we have adequate clearance. I'm doing the final mock-up before I do a couple tack welds on this thing. I got the skid plate all mounted up and I got clearance. This thing's going to work great. All right, let's get to welding this thing up. Now for this part closer to the cylinder head. All right, here's the final product. It's not pretty, but it's gonna work. I pressurized this thing and it's holding pressure, so there's no leaks, surprisingly. So I'm gonna get this thing back on the bike. I'm ready to clean up this muffler, but check this thing out. Look at that, this freaking muffler is packed full. Let's dump this thing out. Jeez, I just freed up probably about 5 horsepower. Jeez, those are a lot of metal bits in that muffler. I'm gonna clean up this muffler off camera and I'll be right back. All right, I cleaned the muffler up just a little bit. Just kind of got the really heavy flakes off. It's kind of funny. You can make out, it says Yamaha. I don't know if you guys can really see it on camera. Has a little patent number on there or something like that. So let's get this installed. All right, there it is, all installed. This thing's gonna be a lot quieter. My phone on hyperlapse and I ended up putting a bunch of stuff on the bike, and I go back to the phone and it's not even recording. So here we go. The front and the back tire. I ended up putting the skid plate back on this thing and the foot pegs, so this thing's ready to rock and roll. Yeah! Is new rubbers, skid plate, and that new exhaust. There's only one thing left to do. Now that I got this bike running, I'm gonna do Amazon delivery on Sundays. This is my first drop off. Hey, I got a delivery for Mr. Metal. There you go. Well, I just got back from that delivery. I got notified I got a 1-star on that delivery for some reason. I thought I did everything that normally those people do when they drop off packages. I'm just joking. My buddy Basim and I just came up with that idea and he went along with it, so I thought it was kind of funny. That's pretty much going to wrap up this video. The next step on this bike is to get the title and license plate and get this thing street legal. I'm going to address the wiring on the next video, get all the lights to work. And then I'm going to change out that crank seal that rides the drive sprocket because it's kind of leaking a bit. And I just need to touch a couple little things up, and then this thing will be ready to rock and roll anywhere I want to go. So come back again, watch me machine on something, or follow me along when I do another video on this Trailmaster. That's going to do it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching.